If you enjoy these programs, please like and subscribe. Every Christian must have the ability, the fortitude, the spiritual sobriety to say, the Christian claim is fantastic. It does not mean it's false, but it must be measured in light of the plain text of the Hebrew Bible.
Hello, gentlemen. This is Igor from Lisbon, Portugal. It's my third time.
Welcome back, Igor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're loud and clear. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So it's my third time participating with Rabbi Tovia Singer, and I appreciate the opportunity with him. My question has to do, Rabbi, with an argument that I have heard from various members of the church in different ways, and that seems to be something common among all denominations, Catholics, Evangelicals, Orthodox, etc. The argument is the Christian Bible is a different kind of book because reading it is only appropriate if you read the second half first, the New Testament, and then, only then, you must read the Tanakh, which they call the Old Testament. So reading in this order, when you get to reading the Tanakh, you already have Jesus as your hermeneutic, and you end up seeing the Tanakh in the correct way, according to them. Doesn't this turn Tanakh into a kind of confirmation bias game, like the one I played when I was a kid, a game called Where's Wally?
Listen to me. Just listen to me. These Christians are absolutely right. The only way that a sane person would be a Christian, the only way is if they learn the Christian Bible first. And then they read the Hebrew Bible through the Christological grid. Absolutely, that's exactly what happens. That's why there are so many good Christians, so many good people that are Christians. I apologize for interrupting you. That's exactly what goes on. You understand? That's exactly what's happening. Thank you for your question. Christians are taught the Gospels. That's really what Christians learn, is they learn the stories about Jesus. And then they read the Hebrew Bible through that Christological filter. So when Christians read the story of Joseph and how his brothers sold him out, literally, instead of understanding what happened here, they immediately see Jesus in that. So all the stories in the Hebrew Bible have to be seen through some filter. And then, of course, no religion could be false. And that's exactly how Christianity can make sense to a good thinking person. That's exactly what happens. People who are raised as Christians see the Hebrew Bible through the filter, through the lens of the New Testament. It's exactly what happens. And then they're Christians. Now, they don't learn the Hebrew Bible in its original language, so they're reading the stories, and that's how it's presented in the churches. Why don't Jews believe in Jesus? Why? The reason is that we do the opposite. Jewish people learn the Hebrew Bible, Tanakh, and at some point, we come to be aware that there are other religions out there. Most likely, Christianity comes into view at some point. Right? So you then ask at some point, Mommy, why do these people do that? Why do they believe that? Why are they? And you then begin to examine the claims of Christianity in light of Tanakh, and you completely reject it, utterly reject it. Completely. Why? Because the claims of the church are opposed by the Hebrew Bible. Judaism and Christianity are not coming on an equal playing field. They're not. Judaism, the Jewish people, we are muchzakim. You know what that means? That means that, how do you say that in English? We're the default baseline. Christianity is a later accretion. And it's just Occam's razor. Anytime you have another hypothesis, it has to be less likely to be true. Like Mormonism, the teachings of the Church of Latter-day Saints, is just another accretion on top of Christianity. So that has to be less likely to be true. It just has to be, because it requires another hypothesis, you understand? So it's exactly what happened. This is why I care about Christians very, very much. And in fact, now the way Christians do this is, and most of them are nice people. And as you can figure it out by now, I'm not trying to get donations from Christians. I'm not patronizing them. What they're doing is by embracing the Christian religion, they're doing exactly what they criticize Mormons for doing. And that is, they are embracing a religion that is different, that is hostile to what... See, there's a postulate that all Christians agree with. The Hebrew Bible can be true and the Christian Bible false. The Christian Bible can't be true and the Hebrew Bible false. That's just not possible. And in 2 Timothy 3:16, when Paul speaks about Scripture, the Scripture he's speaking about is the Hebrew Bible, because the Gospels weren't even written when 2 Timothy was written. It's just so simple. So this is not like two different religions are competing for people's minds and I don't know which team you're... No. Christians admit that until the point of the cross, until the advent of the Christian religion, only the Jews had the truth. Only the Jews did. When Jesus says to the Samaritan woman that salvation is of the Jews, what he means in that context is that the Jews have the truth. And your fathers are lying to you incessantly because you're a Samaritan whose fathers think that the holy city is Mount Gerizim rather than Jerusalem. That's the real context, see? So every Christian must have the ability, the fortitude, the spiritual sobriety to say, the Christian claim is fantastic. It does not mean it's false, but it must be measured in light of the plain text of the Hebrew Bible, not some theophany, not through some vague story in the Hebrew Bible that could just be interpreted to somebody suffering because of their religion. Joseph Smith was killed because of the religion that he spawned. So use the same vigorous methodology, and I'm speaking to the Protestants now, that you used in rejecting Roman Catholicism. Why aren't you a Roman Catholic? Why do you probably have an unfavorable view of Rome? You do because you're using a vigorous methodology and are stating that the teachings of the Roman Catholic Church are not compatible with the Christian Bible. There are just accretions found in Roman Catholicism, layers and layers on top of what stated in the Christian Bible that you utterly reject. That's the whole point of sola scriptura. The whole point of the Reformation is the rejection of Rome, of the authority of the Bishop of Rome. That's the whole point. Well, just apply that to yourself. You follow? And that's something that's very difficult for evangelicals. Why? Because they're such evil people. They're not. They really are. Oh, they have their crazies. But most of them are not. Most of them are good people. They're really nice people. You know, this past Friday night, I was at the Western Wall praying. And now coming out, I met so many people. Among them were Christians, nice, sweet people. And, they were talking to me, and they were not just respectful, they really were effusive in their, they really were being very nice. And I don't think they were doing that just to make me feel good. They were saying some very nice things. But they were Christians, there were quite a few of them. And, they were like just talking to me very respectfully. And they kept, bringing up the same exact point. Well, yeah, it's true that what you find in the New Testament is not explicitly, but you got to see the picture. It's the whole. Really? Well, then any religion could be true. I mean, the hallmark of an untrue faith is unfalsifiability. And I see this sometimes where people ask pastors, if I had to read one book, which is the one that I should read first? It's Matthew, not Genesis. I'm not kidding. Going back to your question, I agree. If you want to raise Christians, all you do is teach them the Christian Bible and then teach them everything in Tanakh, spiritualize. Follow? Don't test the claims of the New Testament, but rather look at the events in the Hebrew Bible as only allegories, only pointing to Christ, only pointing to Jesus. Now, everybody watching me who is or was a Christian will go, well, Singer's telling the truth again, but I am accurately characterizing how Christianity is taught, how it's conveyed, how it's promulgated. That's exactly it. So what I say to you is read Tanakh. If a Martian landed from another planet, was not in worldwide Martian, I mean, someone who just never heard of any religion, read the Hebrew Bible, read the 5 books of Moses, and then you introduce that person to what Christians teach, he would reject it immediately. And in fact, that's what Christian apologists use. The way they argue in favor of their religion is say that there must have been some sort of progressive revelation. I had many Christian apologists argue this with me on television. Progressive revelation, then what religion can be dismissed? Then all religions could be true. There's nothing like that. It's a progressive revelation. No, the truth is something that's unchanging. It's immutable. That's what Tanakh is. It's old. When I say old, it means it's the original. That's why I can take any religious Jew and we can go together to the Israel Museum, look at documents that are well over 2,000 years old and read them. And it makes complete sense to us. Why? Because religious Jews study Hebrew and it's unchanging, really is. Because the truth doesn't change. 2 + 2 is going to be 4 every day. There's no progressive. The moment you hear progressive revelation, don't walk, run. Mashiach comes, all the nations will recognize the truth. But if you're a Christian, you want to stay that way, keep looking at all the events in Tanakh as a metaphor, all pointing to Jesus. You keep doing that, you're never going to escape the spiritual prison you're in. You are in my prayers. Thank you for that question. If you enjoy these programs, please like and subscribe.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא ועת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא